I'll preface this with saying I don't actually know what I'm doing. This is a gas water heater. It's got a tube, and I'm thinking that tube looks a lot like a stovepipe. And from here to about here, looks a lot like a stove. Down here is just some sheet metal. My research indicates that water heater tanks are made with steel, not cast iron. It's got a few extra holes on the top, but I'm a welder, so, well, sort of. I have a cheap little welder. Don't actually have a plan, per se. I have an idea. But looking at this, I think 16 inches looks about right. So I'm just going to mark this off at 16 inches all the way around. Now I'm going to set this on its side. I'm going to connect my marks together. It doesn't look perfect, but it doesn't have to be. Safety is really important. I'm using an angle grinder with a cutoff wheel. That's loud, so I've got earplugs, and it throws lots of sparks everywhere. I've got a face mask. I've laid out a roughly 5-inch square that I'm going to cut out. It's a whole lot easier than trying to follow a circle, and it should be a little bit safer, and it should help prevent the angle grinder blade from breaking. In hindsight, I should have done this step first. Now to see what was in it. The bottom of the tank is domed into the tank, so it'd make a nice top, I think. And it's already got a smokestack welded to it. So I'm going to cut it just below this fitting all the way around, and that should leave me with a nice top. I think that worked out all right. Okay, so that leaves getting this doohickey out. Guess I'll just cut it out. Judging by the smell, probably should have worn a respirator for this. Oh yeah, probably zinc. I probably shouldn't have cut with angle grinder. My idea is that the sheet metal flange will go on the outside, but I might have to trim it to make that work. I think I can make that work. I'm going to trim off some of the excess. I'm going to put a witness mark because I know it kind of fits on this way. I just need to be able to line it up again. Although, not sure how well that's going to last because I plan to wire brush everything before I weld it. Okay, this could take some finagling to get off again, so I'm going to do that off camera. Since this is the bottom, and I got this nice big square hole cut out, I'm going to use it as my ash dump. I'm going to take a file and break the sharp edges. I'm checking for sharp edges by taking my fingers and gently running them across the edge. Never feel for metal splinters like this because you'll end up with a finger full of metal shavings. I've got some flap discs that I'm going to knock this off and smooth it out with. When I removed the side from the water heater, I dismantled the joint, so I was left with a nice bead here already bent, and that saves me from having to make a new one, you know? One brace across here is all I'll actually need. I have a piece of 3/16 steel rod that I happen to have on hand. I'm going to mount that like that. Just slide in and out. Now unfortunately that does put something in the way of my ash drain, but if it's mostly ashes, it shouldn't cause a problem. So I'm going to swap out for a wire brush everything on the bottom. think I've actually got that clean enough. This has got a little play in it, so I think I can just set it on there and weld it in place and be about the right height. We'll see. That works. Cut out, I went ahead and finished wire brushing the welds and sanded this back down. Smooth. That works great. I'm going to call this the front. So that's where the door's going to go. I've got a couple of hinges. Now these are zinc coated, which means that they're going to put off a nasty gas. So I'm going to make sure I'm upwind when I weld them on. These doesn't look very vertical. I'm going to put the grate about 4 inches. Let's do it here. No, let's do it up here. And I'm going to, no, I like that better. Then I'll have the door out there to about there. 8 inches. I like it. And we'll have the door end about here. So and let's see how I did. Pretty much spot on, so that's good. So the hinges are going to go on this side. So to do this the easy way, I'm going to cut this, weld on the hinges, and go from there. And hopefully I get everything on nice and straight, perfect. I'm going to make sure the hinges are in line. I don't really have anything to square them to. Those are some fairly heavy tack welds, so they'll be easier to remove if I have to. Should have done heavier tack welds. My apologies, the SD card filled up and the camera was a little overheated, so I did some work off camera. I put a stop on the door and had to remove some of the glass liner to do that. That was kind of challenging. Definitely wear a respirator when you do that. And I'm getting ready to start putting legs on. I just kind of eyeballed spacing, and I'm hoping it'll work. I'm doing a tripod, so that way it doesn't matter that all the legs are exactly the same length. Now I can start looking at this and getting the legs at the exact angle I want. Well, it definitely doesn't sit level, but I got some plans to make some wooden feet for it. So, all that's left is to put in the metal rods for the grate to sit on, a handle, and a latch, I don't know what they're called, damper, maybe, baffle, anyway, something in here that I can use to allow how much air comes in. It's almost done. I put in one of the crossbars. I'm using 3/4 inch tube, had it on hand from an old project. I've ground off metal on the ends and the middle, put the ground clamp on it, set it at the weld seam at the bottom of the stove, and then I'm using the welder to burn through the glass layer, and it seems to be holding well enough. Didn't line the first one up correctly.
Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto ad un giro d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto ad un giro d'amor. Non più avrai questi bei panacchini, quel cappello leggero galante, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante, quel vermiglio d'onesco color, quel vermiglio d'onesco color. Non più avrai quei pennacchini, quel cappello, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante. Non chiudrai farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girando, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto ad un giro d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto ad un giro d'amor. Fra guerrieri può far bacco, grande stacchi, stretto sacco, schioppo in spalla, sciabla a fianco, collo dritto, muso franco, un gran casco, un gran turbante, molto onor, poco cantante, poco cantante, poco cantante. Ed invece del fandango una marcia per il fango, per montagne, per valloni, con le nevi e salioni al concerto di tromboni, di bombarde e di cannoni, che le porre tutti i tuoni all'orecchio fan fischiar. Non più avrai quei pennacchini, non più avrai quel cappello, non più avrai quella chioma, non più avrai quell'aria brillante, non più avrai farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girato, delle belle tornando a riposo, Narcisetto ad un giro d'amor, delle belle tornando a riposo, Narcisetto ad un giro d'amor. Cherubino alla vittoria, alla gloria militar, cherubino alla vittoria, alla gloria militar.
Literally just remembered I had the microphone off. This wood's a little damp from all the rain. But it really seems to be coming out the top pretty good. There seems to be enough gaps in the ash dump cover to give it plenty of air. We'll just leave that closed for a few minutes as I clean up